Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Advanced Topics in Ethnography. I want to start off saying what a good time I had on Saturday afternoon when over the course of about 2 hours, people came in and out. I know it was a tough afternoon since you had a very mind-bending day doing advanced statistical work. But I'm glad we had a chance to talk. It helped me understand where you are with the course. I was very pleased to hear that you're finding it helpful to you and interesting. I think some of you may even be planning on utilizing some ethnographic methodologies in your dissertation work and other research you might be doing, which just makes me feel really good. And I'm glad that you've suggested that we do more of the Zoom type interactions. So we have another one planned in March. You would have received an invite from me for that meeting. And if something changes or your schedule changes, please just let me know and we'll find a time. This week, we're moving into session 6, which is observational methods in ethnographic research. What we want to accomplish this week should be to apply what you've learned so far in the first part of the semester and to arrange a research design in a healthcare context, which you have already chosen in the first part of assignment 2. Um, and um, and then appraise the breadth of the context with all necessary participants involved. So you'll have an opportunity to sort of get a framework to think through your project in the required reading, which is Ethnographers in Scrubs. That's part of our textbook. And then you'll have a choice to read. You could read both if you want, but we all have a choice to read Ethnographic Investigations of a Diagnostic Imaging Department or the chapter on the Alive Project. These are actually designs that you can think about how you might organize your own research project. And as you'll note, they're not identical and they don't have to be identical. Ethnographic research by nature isn't quite as stringent when it comes to how to lay out the design of the project that you hope to do. So by the end of this week, next Sunday, you will add on to your assignment 2 part 1 to do assignment 2 part 2, and you'll be structuring your research plan, as I said, based on chapter 17 as a guide. And you can follow through with the suggestions I've made here. And I also drew your attention to certain pages and places to really think about what your guiding questions might be, what your observational techniques might be, how you might use visualization. We have done a little reading on visualization. And if you are reading the Lisa book, you'll know that there are very many ways to present material in ethnography, because that is actually a visual ethnography in the style of a comic. So I also added here a video, which is very well done and interesting by an undergraduate. You can learn from that video how to imagine how you would do participant observation in the context of your design, how you would do semi-structured interviews and other techniques. So I think that's going to be a helpful video for you to watch. If you were there on Saturday, you know we talked about the concept of the researcher being the translator of the experience of the participants. So unlike some other methodological techniques, where you can sort of keep a little bit of distance between you and the participants, even if you're doing interviewing, um, ethnography really requires an immersion into the phenomenon that you are trying to translate to a reading audience. Um, I made it akin to when you're watching a really good documentary on TV. You are learning about what's going on, but you're also being drawn into the experience of whatever it is that's being observed. It could be about animals, it could be about humans, it could be about, a historical subject. When you really feel as an observer or reader that you're being brought into the experience of the other, that is why we use ethnography, to be able to tell that story. And the researcher is the storyteller. So the closer you become embedded into the experience of the phenomenon with the participants involved, the better you're going to be able to explain what their story is. So when you're thinking about the techniques that need to be used, and again, you have really 3 good chapters here to draw from, and also this video, think about how you're going to get really close and what you would have to do. For instance, we brought up an example of stress related to getting regular treatment for cancer, and what the person imagines their cancer to be and what they feel and experience when they go in for an infusion and that sort of thing. You can't just gather that from a survey or ask semi-structured interviews. You almost have to make time to have the experience with that person. And as you're experiencing it, observe, but also ask questions about how you're feeling at this moment. Are you feeling that your infusion center is a safe place? How do you feel about the people they're working with you, et cetera? This really requires a dedication to being part of the phenomena. That's a very unusual place for a researcher to be, is to be part of the phenomena. But in ethnography and other types of naturalistic research, probably ethnography is the one that requires your embeddedness the most. Of course, this is a lot trickier than simply gathering data from persons or a community that's separated from you. It almost seems like you could be more objective that way. But actually, this ethnography is a very much subjectively driven research methodology. So I've gone through everything for this week. I will be finishing grading your assignments from last week on Sunday. My calendar got very filled up because I have another class that had a very large group of papers I needed to grade. So I will get to your previous paper on Sunday, probably by Friday at the latest. That's my goal. So in the meantime, if you have any questions, please go through Ask the Prof. And I look forward to reading what you have provided and getting back to you with my feedback. And I hope you all have a really great week and can't wait to see you again in March. Okay, have a good day. Bye-bye.